I think so. Forrest, you ready to go?
Yeah, I am if everybody else is. We got to start with the pledge. I'll let somebody from their local get us going.
Okay. All
I
right.
guess I should first call the meeting to order. Regular board meeting, Tuesday, August 9th in the Dankert Trustee Boardroom.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, would entertain, I guess I know Shelby, it looked like you wanted to pull something off the consent agenda. Why don't we deal with that first?
I emailed Dr. Pearl and she's gonna email that stuff out later. There's questions on the
Expenditure stuff. Yeah. Julie had a few questions too, and so we'll compile all of that and get it sent to everybody. Hopefully by the end of the week. I'll send it all to the budget manager. So thank you.
Okay.
And then Forrest,
I'm sorry.
Forrest, then we have the overarching MOU for the concurrent enrollment partnership agreements that needs to go on the consent agenda with the other concurrent enrollment partnership agreements. So that's the only addition that we would have to the agenda that I know of.
Okay.
I would move to add that to the agenda.
And
I
I'll
second it.
Oh, okay.
So we would add it.
C11.
Can we just add it to C8 and have it be C8A and just vote on all of it together? Is that okay with everybody? Because it all goes together. Is that all right?
Sounds good.
Let's just add it to C8, okay? Thank you.
Heather, can we call the roll on that amendment motion? Or Jennifer? I don't know who's going. All right.
Trustee Good,
Yes.
Trustee Brungart,
Yes.
Trustee Jolly,
Yes.
Trustee Rhodes,
Yes.
Trustee Winslow,
Yes.
Trustee Shearer,
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Okay, that passes 7-0. Thanks, everybody. Would now entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda, or excuse me, to approve the agenda as amended.
I move that we approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Trustee Good,
Yes.
Trustee Brungart,
Yes.
Trustee Jolly,
Yes.
Trustee Rhodes,
Yes.
Trustee Winslow,
Yes.
Trustee Shearer,
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Okay. Also passes 7-0. I think we're gonna start off with a short executive session for discussions with legal counsel. The language for that motion is on the next, excuse me, it looks like that one's on the page 3 of the board book. Would entertain that motion if someone would like to make it.
Mr. Chair, I move that the board recess into executive session for consultation with legal counsel for the board, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship pursuant to the open meetings exception for matters protected by consultation with legal counsel, and to include the board, President Kim Kroll, and Ray Cannell.
And I'll second.
Trustee Good,
Yes.
Trustee Brungart,
Yes.
Trustee Jolly,
Yes.
Trustee Rhodes,
Yes.
Trustee Winslow,
Yes.
Trustee Shearer,
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes. We're going to note that's for 30 minutes.
Oh, that's right.
And as I guess, as we've done before, we'll note the specific time in and out once we come out.
I think we need to note how much time we're going to put on for the executive session. So what do you think, 30 minutes?
I don't think any more than 30 minutes.
right 30 minutes.
Yeah.
For
It says
30
in
minutes.
That's what it says. Yeah.
On the intro page.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Forrest, you'll be prompted here in just a second to join the breakout room.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Just the budget.
You need to get on Dylan to watch Predator. Because he doesn't know any of the lines, like Dylan, get the chocolate. He doesn't have any. It's like, no, I've never seen it. It's like, how can you not have seen it? They say your name like 30 times. He's like, no.
I put you in trying to. No, it shows that I assigned you the date.
That's so cool. So who gave this?
Let me see if Great Western brought the.
Is there one there? Okay.
We ready? Ready now? Okay, Forrest, we're ready.
Okay, great. We are back in open session. I had us going in at 4:35. We officially came out at 5:02, and it's I guess 5:04 now. So we are on track. Next item on the agenda is recognition. So Dr. Kroll, I will turn that over to you.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to sit here again at my microphone so that everybody can hear me. And for you folks that are being recognized, we have a kind of an upfront apology. Our certificate paper is on its way. It's on order, but it's not here. So we will have certificates printed and ready for you probably the end of the week, and we'll get them to you. I want to first of all recognize some important people that were part of leadership in CACRO this past year. So Michelle Ponce, Monica's not here, but Megan Chambers. And we have some nice letters from a couple of them from Megan, actually. Megan is the current CACRO president, and she has written a nice letter recognizing both Michelle and Monica Zavala for their leadership in CACRO, which is the Kansas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers. And she's written on behalf of CACRO, I would like to thank you for the support that Michelle Ponce has given our association by serving as historian and constitution coordinator for the 2021-2022 academic year. CACRO contributes to the advancement of higher education in Kansas and nationally through the professional development of its members and the use of high standards of professional ethics. Michelle's service to CACRO is greatly appreciated, as is the willingness of your institution to provide time for these endeavors. And we had the same nice letter recognizing Monica for serving as vice president for association services and membership coordinator for this past year. And then we want to recognize Megan. There was a nice letter recognizing Megan that Tara Cooper sent, who's at Barton Community College. She's the past president from a year ago, thanking Megan for her service as this current year's the president currently. These folks have continually, I think we've recognized you, kind of the trio of you about every year because of your commitment to CACRO and the work that you've done. And we really appreciate that. It's important for our institution to step up and be leaders in those statewide organizations. And I know that it takes additional time on your part to do that, but it's really critical. And I know you create a great network of colleagues across the state and bring that information back to us that helps impact our institution in a really positive way. So thanks for doing that. And, appreciate all your efforts and just your hard work in CACRO. And I know your CACRO colleagues, the other ones, really appreciate that too. So thank you very much. I'll give you these letters. Do you want these letters? Do you want this from Megan or no? Next, I want to recognize Chrissy Gifford. Chrissy's sitting right here. I had a nice letter. Chrissy's our Phi Theta Kappa advisor and has been for 10 years now. And I have a nice letter from Lynn Tincher-Ladner, who is the president and CEO of Phi Theta Kappa, and Chrissy's 10-year pin. She said, we at Phi Theta Kappa owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to our chapter advisors whose dedicated service is responsible for the success of our local chapters. Advisors are truly the lifeblood of our organization, and we are delighted to recognize them for their years of service. On our campus, at Butler's campus, we're proud to honor Chrissy Gifford for 10 years of service as advisor of Alpha Phi Alpha. So you've seen her here with our students. Lots of times our students have come home with amazing awards from, international and from the name, just what's the conference called? Catalyst. I couldn't think of Catalyst. It just slipped me. I knew it started with a C. So and so really appreciate you and all your hard work. And she keeps those students really lined out. It's a really pretty Phi Theta Kappa pin with 2 little blue stones on the bottom of it. So thank you for taking good care of We'll look forward to the 15-year pin and the 20-year pin, 25-year pin. It's getting all mapped out for you there. Now I want to recognize Teresa Eastman, sitting in the back there. Teresa is our Director of Disability Services and ADA Compliance Officer and Section 504 Coordinator. Teresa presented at a 2-day conference institute at the Association of Higher Education and Disability Conference, which is called the AHEAD Conference in Cleveland in July on the 18th and 19th. She presented with 2 colleagues from Lee Carbon Community College in Pennsylvania and Collin College in Texas. The title of the pre-conference institute was Community and 2-Year College Reboot, the Rock and Roll of Our Profession. That 2-day presentation focused on the unique characteristics that community colleges face that don't necessarily exist for 4-year institutions. And Teresa specifically talked about, or her presentation included information regarding access and success within open enrollment institutions, concurrent and dual enrollment, and then highlighted Butler's early college academies for our high school students, campus partnerships, care teams, and technical standards featuring our hard of hearing nurse graduate. And then she also moderated a session on intersections impacting 2-year and community college students. She's currently serving at the national level, which is awesome, as the co-chair for Community College Knowledge and Practice Group. And she also served as a reviewer for the proposals that were submitted for this year's conference. And so Teresa, thank you for all that you do as well. She's so integrally involved on campus in so many ways, on care team and, making sure that students that need accommodations in their classrooms or even working with staff and employees to assist them. But she brings a huge knowledge base and experience base to this college that's so impactful and so important. And she's just really, really passionate about serving students and serving Butler and our employees. So we really appreciate all you do. And again, it's kind of the same thing. Your commitment at the national level, and I know your recognition around the state is really important. That builds your network, but you have the ability then to bring great things back to Butler that help serve our students too. So yeah, thanks for being here. That again. Then I also have on the recognition list a number of our football players, and I thought they were going to try and be here. They had practice and we're going to try and be here by 5, but so they may wander in here in just a little bit. I saw Bryce, Coach Veneri at lunchtime over in the cafeteria, and he was going to try and get him here. But Isaiah Bunn, Kareem Harden, Jake Humphrey, Wesley Williams, Hiram Stretty, Devin Davis, Josh Sudas, Anthony Mix, Amari Sills, Jonathan Forson, and then coaches Justin Stolberg and Kenyana Hurd were all volunteers for the Wichita Heart Walk. They helped set up tables, they helped hang banners, they carried water, they handed out water, and then they took everything down afterwards. And the Heart Walk folks said that they would not have been able to get everything done if our players hadn't been there to volunteer and help them. So hopefully they'll show up and we can recognize them again if they get here. But our coaches do a great job of getting our students out in front and involved in the communities. There's a number of them that are involved in the school districts and in the schools and stuff with reading programs and things like that and volunteering. So it's a great opportunity to let them serve, but let the community enjoy getting to know them as well. So that's what I have. Besides, I don't want to forget another one really important thing, and that was that Forrest had a birthday on the 1st of August. So happy birthday, Forrest.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And now I'm quarantining because of it. So.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Kroll, thank you. Do we have any public comment today?
We aren't aware of any. Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Well, then we can just move right into the standing reports. It looks like student government, they're still enjoying their summer. So how about Lisa for op staff?
She's on Zoom, so.
Hi, Lisa.
Awesome. Hi, good afternoon. So we are excited to have students back on campus and to return to a somewhat normal routine. Our first op staff event this year will be the Welcome Back tables. We will host these tables across our campuses during the first 2 days of the fall semester in a few weeks. They will be stocked with a plethora of snacks and bottled water, as well as informational flyers, maps, and promotional butler items. These tables will be staffed by operational staff, administration, and faculty members. Offering something like this will help settle nerves for new students and give them an extra place to ask for help. Our first operational staff meeting this year is scheduled for Thursday, September 15th. That's all I have for you.
Hey, thank you.
Yep.
Is Dr. Sater present for the professional employees?
He's not.
Okay. Board Finance, Mary Martha or Linda?
On page 167 of your board book, Kent explained that the budget did not get moved over and it will be updated next month.
That's why there's some of the zeros in there. Yeah.
That map doesn't add up.
That's it, Forrest.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, Foundation Board report. If Tom's there, I'll just turn that over to Tom.
Okay, thank you, Forrest. No report because we haven't met yet, but I did want to bring your attention on your desk, your desk is a book by David Gran called Killer Flowers of the
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Never get that right. Killers of the Flower Moon, excuse me. A wonderful book that has been out for a couple of years now, set in north central, northeast Oklahoma during the early part of the 20th century. It talks about the beginning of the FBI during this book and the Osage Indians and their ownership of oil rights in that area and the horrendous story that occurred because of all that. So, but the interesting thing about that is that that book is being turned into a film, and they are finishing up filming, and it should be out maybe the end of this year is what they're predicting. But anyway, the author will be with us next month as part of the Harold Smith lecture series, and there'll be an opportunity to hear him speak about the book. So hopefully you'll read it and hopefully want to attend.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Tom. Yeah, I think it's Leo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro are part of the cast, so it's a real deal.
Yeah, and Martin Scorsese is the director.
Oh, wow. Dr. Kroll, President's Report.
Thanks. You all have received an invitation, I believe, for the Redler Institute of Culinary Arts, the ribbon cutting on the 16th, August 16th at 4 p.m. I hope you'll be able to join us. Wear purple, please. But we're excited about that. There'll be a great group of folks there, I'm sure, and a lot of excitement. And there'll be, obviously opportunities to go through the building. Faculty and staff that want to will walk through on Friday this week. We received the occupancy permit a week or so ago, and the keys, and Ireland and his team and the Hutton folks are working through the punch list. And we can come back to that if we want to in just a minute, but really excited about this. And so hope you'll be able to be there.
What is that on Friday?
At 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
is when it starts. On the 16th, you mean?
Tuesday.
No.
Yeah, what day of the week?
Oh, the faculty and staff that are walking through?
Yeah.
I think 1 to 3.
It's 1 to 3.
It's on Tuesday.
I may not be able to make it. So.
The just a reminder about the retreat that starts Friday this week. I would suggest, still don't know for sure the flight plans or the flight times with Ken and Mary, but at least when we talked initially, they thought a 6 p.m. start to sit down to have dinner together would be the right start. So I would say be here at 5:30. So we can kind of get settled in, and they may be here a little bit earlier.
Would we be coming from the ribbon cutting to here, or are those 2 different days?
Those are 2 different
The
days.
16th is the ribbon cutting. That's the following week.
Oh, okay.
The
Sorry.
retreats this
Sorry.
week. Yeah.
My bad.
Tom was able, I think I emailed this to you folks. Tom was able to last week be at the correctional facility for a celebration, a commencement celebration, really a graduation celebration with 16 residents that finished the masonry certificate program. Really proud of them. We can't do any kind of PR release or anything like that because they won't let us, we can't share that kind of information, but I'm writing a personal note of congratulations to all of them. Really exciting that that first group is through. And when we toured out there, we saw some pretty amazing class projects. It was really fun to see what they had been working on. So we're excited about that and know that there are people waiting in the wings to sign up and get going in the next group. So they're doing FAFSA applications with them this week. So that'll be beneficial. I think Kent emailed just an update on the BKD information to everybody. So you've got that. Grizzly Gold Parade is August 27th. This is a sort of a celebratory parade in El Dorado. It kind of combines what used to be kind of the kickoff. I mean, I don't know. It was a community parade that like a Fall Fest parade in El Dorado. And so they've combined it into one to really kind of celebrate the start of the semester, but also to kind of kick off El Dorado's City of Gold Festival, which is going to be held the 17th of September through the 24th.
So the
And-
parade is the 27th?
August 27th.
Okay.
Starts at 10 a.m., starts on North Main. We'll have a number of Butler, folks in the parade. If you want to ride, walk, join us, you're welcome to do that. On Monday next week, the week-long professional development days starts for the faculty. 2 full days during that week of really organized meetings and breakout sessions and opportunities to learn together. And then the other days they're in their offices and classrooms and, departmental meetings and some things like that. But I always host a social, usually on the Monday afternoon. So Monday afternoon at 4, you're welcome to join us. I think Terry at one point in time characterized it as a beer bash maybe or something like that, but it's not. It's just
Is
a
that
very,
in here on the calendar?
I don't know if it got on the calendar. But I'm telling you when it is. What's wrong, Julie?
That's all right. I'll just review that. I wasn't writing notes
Oh,
because
okay.
I didn't realize it wasn't in the calendar.
It's this coming Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. downstairs in this building in the foyer. There'll be snacks and water and pop. And, if you want to have a beer or a glass of wine, you're welcome to do that. But from about 4 to 5.
You got that license just for this, right?
No,
It's just joking.
no. Summer Plus, we emailed the Summer Plus hour information to you all from last year. We don't have the current information this year because summer's just over. And the first that we would even have information for understanding how they got applied to the fall semester would be later in the fall semester, and we can provide that information then. But I think, Shelby, you had a couple of questions about some of that information. So
I didn't understand how it broke down.
can you help, Jessica?
Yeah.
You'll have to speak into a microphone.
So I don't have the data in front of me right now, but I can tell you, so what we do is the students who take 6 credit hours, they have to enroll for fall and enroll in at least 3 credit hours by a deadline. And then they would get the 3 credit hour tuition basically applied to their account. They would only be able to get the highest, or to be able to get in-state, that's the highest they could get. So if we have an international student or an out-of-state, in-state rate would be what they would receive. Does that help?
Yeah, there was just kind of a summary. There was, didn't understand. I can send you an email later.
Okay, yeah.
I think the numbers represented, well, because you put a dollar amount to those.
Correct. Yeah, the dollar amount. So just showed the ones that were awarded that tuition. There are quite a few though that didn't enroll. So they were only here for the summer. So that's what that data shows. But yeah, just send me your question. I'll be happy to help.
I'll be anxious to see the totals though from this summer. Once
Yeah, once we have some. And then I had on my list also, mark down September 14th at 7 p.m. I know that's on the little flyer on the front of your book, Killers of the Flower Moon, but September 14th, 7 p.m. in the Hubbard Welcome Center downstairs in the Clifford Stone Room. The Harold Smith lecture series, cultural series, is an endowed fund in the foundation, gift given by Harold Smith. And it allows us every couple of years to bring in significant speakers or authors or, folks like that, free of charge. There's no admission, but it offers an opportunity for not only college personnel, but community members and college students to engage and listen and hear about some, in this case, an author and an movie that's going to be released very soon, with no costs associated with it. So the series are designed to expand opportunities and world view and world vision, with a gift given by somebody that had that opportunity to do that, but providing opportunities maybe for people that don't have the ability to travel or whatever. And then today, the Wichita Business Journal just announced their 2022 Diversity and Inclusion Award winners, and Butler it will be recognized again for our graduate series of Advanced Kansas that we offer in partnership with Spirit Aerosystems and Meritrust, Evergy, Envision, and Cox Communications. It's a leadership training that's facilitated by Juan Johnson and supported through those corporate partners' gifts, as well as the participants that participate pay a fee to be involved. But it's a great leadership training opportunity that's focused very specifically on diversity and inclusion. It's been in place now. I think this is the 15th year that we've done that. So nice to be recognized again by the Business Journal for that. I'd answer questions if you have any.
Dr. Kroll, did you say the ribbon cutting at the Redler Center, was that at 4 or 4:30?
It's at 4 p.m.
4 p.m. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Mary Martha, Dave, any update for educational facilities?
We have a meeting tomorrow at 8:00 a.m. Dave will not be there because he will be teaching. So I will get my happy little hiney up to attend by 8:00.
I covered for you the last
I
time.
know you did.
Okay, we don't have a monitoring report. Next up is the board strategic discussion items. The first one is the board evaluation. I think we can make relatively quick work of that. I think Dr. Kroll either is going to or has sent copies around. The turnout was poor, to say the least. Only 4 of 7 trustees completed the evaluation, so I don't think it's worthwhile to spend a great deal of time talking about it today. I would suggest that everybody, since I think it just went out today, why don't you take some time to look at the responses, and then we can decide if we want to have a more in-depth discussion about it next week, or next month, I mean. But at first glance that I saw of the responses do not reflect a cross-section of our current board. So I don't know that there's a lot of value in talking through them unless somebody else feels differently.
I feel differently, Forrest. I really think we need to go through this at our meeting next month.
That's fine. We can put it on. We can put it for a discussion item next month and give everybody a chance to review what the responses were from those that took the time to complete it.
Is there any way the 3 remaining trustees would have an opportunity to fill out this evaluation?
They certainly have an opportunity. They had an opportunity before today. The question is if they choose to take that opportunity and do it. And we don't know who did and who didn't. It's not. Maybe they can pull that out of the back data, but that wasn't provided. We just know there were 4 out of 7 did it. I mean, Dr. Kroll, is it possible to reopen it for a couple of weeks and then try to do this again next month?
I can ask Jenna to do it. I'm sure that she can. If there are, if that's what you want us to do, I will ask Jenna to reopen it for some continued input of information.
And I would encourage the trustees who have not filled this out to do so. I think it gives us more information on how we function as a board. So I encourage all of you to try and fill it out. It doesn't take very long.
Thanks, Mary Martha. Okay, we'll plan on that then for next month.
I'll ask Jenna to reopen it, and then I'll send you an email to let you know that it has been. You know, do you want it open for 2 weeks? Do you want it open for a shorter period of time? Sometimes if it's
Shorter.
really long, you know, you forget again. So.
Yeah,
I would say no more than a week at the most.
Yeah, I mean, it takes about 15 minutes to go through it. So yeah, I think if we can open it up, reopen it for a week and have Jenna or Jennifer send another note to everybody. I assume that those that have already completed it won't have to do it again. It'll just compile the new results or new responses into what we already have.
I would guess so, but I'll clarify that with Jenna for sure. She might be able to, well, I'll ask her.
Okay. Well, I guess everybody for those that didn't complete it, please keep a lookout on your email the next couple of days to see that link, and please do your best to take a little time out of, we all have busy days. I get it. Try to take a little time out to go through it. Dr. Kroll, I'll turn this one over to you on the strategic plan report.
Okay, I'm making myself a note here to get a hold of Jenna real quick. Okay, you have a copy, I think, in front of you of just the overview of our current strategic plan. And I wanted to spend just a little bit of time walking through this with you to share some progress. You'll see some of these the goals will be the same as we move forward with our next the next update of the strategic plan. And some of the priorities may be, will remain as well. But let me run through these. We're not going to go through them, you know, piece by piece, because you can take some time to review this as well. But under the first goal, supporting students and their success, we had 3 priorities. We wanted to maximize equitable access, we wanted to improve student outcomes, and we wanted to increase overall enrollment. A lot of these you'll see are 100% complete, but they're not things that stop. They're ongoing, and they're ongoing initiatives that we will continue to focus on and continue to do. And so you can see under the equitable access, we were looking at increasing hours committed to new student advising and successful implementation of the Kansas Promise Act, and then use of foundation scholarships. And you can see that we've done a good job there. 65% on the student advising and admissions, because we're still in that mode. We had hoped to hire 2 positions to help with that. We hired 1, and she did a great job for us. And so on the student outcomes regarding retention, persistence, and completion, you can see those individual successes there. Some of these even, you'll see some duplication when we look at the performance agreements that are or the performance goals that are in the back of the board book as well. But we had, we did a lot of work towards increasing retention and persistence and completion. In the increase overall enrollment, we didn't increase it necessarily, but we increased in sectors. We did see some change in conversion rates. And so when we talk about the conversion rates, we're talking about when a student expresses interest, or when they apply, their application to enrollment is a conversion. And so we did see some increases in conversion rates for transfer students in that demographic, in that sector, from a 27% conversion rate to 29%. We did see some increase in online conversion rates and some increase in the age group of 34 to 49-year-olds. We saw some increase in conversion rates. We also saw some increase in headcount of students between the ages of 19 and 21. But overall, when we looked at everything together, we didn't have an overall enrollment increase. But when we're digging into those demographics and looking at those sectors, that helps us understand where we're making progress, helps guide us in what we need to do differently to increase, those rates even further. So it's important that we have that statistical information. When we talk about advancing communities and partnerships, we had 2 priorities in this area. We wanted to provide return on investment for students and taxpayers, resources committed to the college, and then we wanted to strengthen partnerships. And we did a good job of developing new partnerships, of increasing presence in communities, initiating the Department of Corrections grant. And so this is really about, again, engaging in the community and understanding what our business and industry partners need and how we coordinate those kinds of things for student success and for college success. You'll see some of these same things probably on this next strategic plan as well. Under enhancing employee success and excellence, I don't want you to think that this was a total failure by any means. We had chosen to do some things under these 3 priorities that simply we just didn't have the capacity and staffing to get done this year. Shelley's still running, what are you doing, 3 payrolls this week, I think, or something like that. 3 this week, and yeah, she's the payroll, she's the payroll manager. And so this was simply an example of things that we chose that we wanted to do, but we weren't able to do them because we just didn't have the capacity and the people to get them done. We did, obviously, with your help, the board's help, include funding in the budget to address equity and and market compensation. So that was really good. But we still will have as a goal for next year, I know, some of the professional development and a defined professional development curriculum for staff. We've got that for faculty, and we want to build that out for staff as well. And so you'll see some of these same things again. And when we drive institutional sustainability and growth, we had 4 priorities in this area. And you'll see that one of them was to strengthen instruction and programming through collaborative partnerships, continuous capital equipment, faculty excellence, and technology improvements. And we did a great job in that with that priority, really using and helping our advisory committees understand that they can contribute in broader ways besides just reviewing curriculum and making sure that it's up to date. We have really strong advisory committees in construction technology and diesel technology, and you've seen the evidence of them donating equipment and supporting our programs in those ways. And we're getting ready this coming year as we do some curriculum revision to embed more internship requirements in the technical certificate and degree pathways. And so these are the folks where our students potentially will be doing internships or apprenticeships. And so those partnerships are really important and critical. We also, kind of a similar one, strengthened internal and external partnerships to develop new funding sources. And so, again, we've used our advisory committees. We've worked at increasing and finding additional grant opportunities, developing new partnerships that result in program and college support. And again, you've seen significant support. Diesel technology is a great example with all of the things that have been donated through that program. And again, it takes the deans and the associate deans, it takes the faculties out among those industry partners, connecting with them and developing those relationships so that they're all engaged. Third priority was to increase fund reserves to support future financing of strategic priorities and innovations. And you folks have been involved in those conversations as well of setting aside some of the unencumbered cash or the stimulus funds for the ability to address deferred maintenance and technology and innovation. And then the fourth priority was to ensure institutional accountability and compliance. Higher Learning Commission visit in 2023 in April, and our committee, the people that are working on that assurance argument are following a very defined timeline. We're on schedule. Phil is still not back here to assist, but we'll be back shortly. But we've got folks moving forward and doing a great job in preparation for that visit. It'll get busier and a little bit more time consuming as we get a little bit further into the fall. But developing the dashboards for academics, we've completed all of our HERF reporting by the deadlines. So we've done a good job there. Champion excellence and innovation is the next goal, and we've got some priorities there. We launched the Sustainable Laptop Initiative. We've developed, actually, this says develop 25 high-flex classrooms. These are the Zoom classrooms that we'll be able to use, that the students after COVID told us don't walk away from some of this technology that we've used. But we've actually built out about 50 classrooms, I think now, or we're in the process, is that right? 50 classrooms that will have Zoom capability in the classroom. So if a student has a sick child at home, or they've juggling work schedules, or gas prices skyrocket again, they don't have to miss class. They can stay, up to speed and stay engaged with class and use that Zoom opportunity. Enhancing digital literacy and fluency. Obviously, we've had a really successful launch of the Adobe Creative Campus and Sign, in this last year. Conversations happening about, how we differentiate Butler through the metaverse. We've done a little bit of work on that, not a lot at this point in time, but that will continue. And then one of the areas that's really, really being discussed that we're working on is, creating those opportunities where our students can gain credit through competency-based education. So you create crosswalks between their military service or their on-the-job training with outcomes that are a part of our classes and grant them credit. Our partnership with the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union, where they work on their journeyman's, attaining their journeyman's status over a 4 or 5 year time frame. That's a national curriculum that they're doing. And once they finish that journeyman's, that's all on-the-job training and all identified learning. Outcome learning. We take everything that they've learned and we give them credit for it, and we add some gen ed credits to that, and they have an associate's degree if they want that with us. So that's what the competency-based education opportunities are. Kansas Board of Regents is doing still some of the crosswalks on the military credit between some of the technical programs, and so they're kind of guiding some of those discussions. But we're having, again, a number of discussions with some of our partners about how we put together apprenticeship opportunities with our business partners and allow students to work for them full-time, earn a living wage, and crosswalk that credit to, again, the college. They get an employee, they fill their workforce pipeline and their needs, but those students have an opportunity to use that learning as part of their credit for a degree or certificate program. And then the last goal was inspiring values of equity and access. 4 priorities there. We've talked with you quite a bit about the Inclusion Council and the work that they're doing. And they've taken these 4 priorities and really have run with them as a group of folks and have some subcommittees working very specifically, like the first priority where we want to maximize the organizational culture by encouraging engagement and input and communication. They spent a lot of time last fall and this spring visiting with individual small student groups and small employee groups, with gathering information. We want to make sure that we partner and strengthen partnerships with organizations that provide services and support for underrepresented populations. And then we want to close the achievement gap. We've decided that our underrepresented population will be first generation learners. And so we have the data and the statistics that we can look at that will help us understand, what are their achievement gaps? What are our retention rates with first generation learners? What are their educational attainment rates? How are they graduating? Are they transferring on? And so we're digging into those first generation learners, because we probably have We probably have between 40 and 50% of the students that come to us that are first gen learners. I don't know that number for sure. I could have ESOM look at that, but so we want to focus on them and making sure that they are supported in, academically and through student services. And then we want to make sure that we also have a focus on recruiting and hiring practices to support a diverse workforce. And it's not, we're not looking at just race and ethnicity. It's, gender, it's sexual orientation. I mean, it's everything that somebody brings to the table that creates a unique experience and a unique perspective for them. And so you can see that we're doing some training for search committee chairs to make sure that we have a focus as we go through hiring processes, that we use some specific questions that encourage discussion about some of their experiences or, things like that. So I'd answer any questions that you might have. We'll have a draft kind of update to this strategic plan ready to talk about probably at the next work session, and give you an opportunity to provide some input to that. But you'll see some of the 6 goals will be on that same strategic plan. Some of the priorities will be different, but some of the priorities will remain as well, because they're things that we need to continue to work on, like the enrollment priorities still going to be there.
Yeah.
So yeah. Did you have a question, Mary?
Yes, on page 2, priority 3, on 3B, so that should be increased conversion rates, not conversation rates.
There were how many? Thank you. There were how many eyes on this thing for how many times? Yeah, it's conversion. Thank you.
No problem.
If you see any other ones, let us know, because we'll finalize this and we'll post it. We'll post it on the the website. So
looks good.
if you see any other errors, this is Kelly Cruz does this creation for us out of marketing. So does a great job. Thank you.
I was just kind of wondering how you guys, what kind of tool you were going to be able to use to measure your success at all of these.
Well, we're using different things. I mean, it kind of depends on what it is. Now, like with enrollment, we're using enrollment data, and we're doing, we're looking at numbers and credit hours and stuff like that. So
Actually, I was probably thought of that when I got to the back page. Oh, the Inspire Values of Equity and Access. Wondered how you were going to measure that. And if that was going to be a course that you're going to teach, or
no,
a committee?
It's these priorities that we're working on. It's not a course. It's like, for the first priority, there was a subgroup of folks that sat down and actually engaged in conversation with students and staff, and listened to what they were saying, and then went back and shared that information with the rest of the Inclusion Council, with expanding the training opportunities. They have put together some individual training that I think, Jessica, your team, your enrollment management and advising team have engaged in some specific training that they've done on inclusion awareness and diversity awareness and those kinds of things. So it really kind of just depends on the priority or the goal, how they're being measured. It's not just one thing, like closing the achievement gap. We're using data to help us understand, if we pick first generation learners, we can go through, because they identify themselves on their applications sometimes, or their FAFSA applications, as first gen learners.
Okay.
And we can section out those students and compare their retention rate. For instance, how well do we retain them from fall to spring semester, the first semester that we're here, and how do we compare that to our other student population collectively? What are the retention numbers of those students? So we're doing, individual things like that, depending on what the priorities are. Did that answer your question?
I think so. I'm just maybe we could adopt some of this at the board training. Some inclusion, how to deal with different input, communication, and improve our respect for other ideas and experiences.
Sure, that would be great.
Board members.
That would be great. Any other questions?
Jill, I didn't quite hear you.
I'm not talking loud. I'm sorry.
I noticed that.
I said it would be so nice if we could adopt however they're teaching this into the board somehow with some training, open training sessions on things like priority number one, maximizing a diverse, equitable, and inclusive organizational environment by encouraging engagement, input, communication, and respect towards other ideas and experience. I just thought it's a nice outline of possibilities, and if they come up with anything that they are going to share on the council as a target, then it'd be great if we had it here on the board. Don't you think?
I think it'd be great if we would all adhere to it.
Well, there is that. You can teach, but you may not get followers.
The first one though needs to be kind.
Be kind. Yes. Did you hear that? Let's put.
No, that's just ours.
Oh.
Other questions?
Dr. Kroll, thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, we've got the board action item. Would entertain a motion to approve the notice of public hearing. It's page 7 of your board book.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the trustees approve the notice of hearing to exceed the revenue neutral rate and budget hearing as attached with the maximum amount of expenditures by fund totaling $85,861,808 and a maximum amount of tax to be levied of $12,928,138.
And I will second that motion.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Any discussion about this?
Yeah, I emailed this earlier, but I moved to amend the motion to have the maximum amount of tax levied to be $12,500,000.
I'll second.
We have too many motions on the floor right now.
Well, it's an amendment.
That's an amendment.
It's a
Oh, use
motion.
it a motion.
So the motion to amend is now what's on the floor. Do we have any discussion about the motion to amend? I mean, it appears, Shelby, you're just trying to knock the tax rate down lower than what it is.
What'd you say, Shelby? 12,500,000? Okay.
I'm just of the opinion we had 4 million additional last year. My opinion is about 25% of that's taxpayer money that's not going to be refunded. So I think taking a little less next year would be appropriate.
What was the year before, Shelby? Do you remember the extra at the end?
It was 2.5 or so. I
2.5,
think,
and then
2 the year
last year it
before
was
that.
4.
I don't expect this to pass. I just want to make my motion. We can have our vote and continue on with our meeting.
Any other discussion about the motion to amend? Okay, let's go ahead and vote that. And remember again, what we're voting on is to amend the motion, which would amend the notice of public hearing to reduce the tax to be levied from what was proposed
12.9
to 12.5.
to 12.5. Yes.
Trustee Good,
No.
trustee Brungart,
Yes.
trustee Jolly. No. Trustee Rhodes,
No.
trustee Winslow,
Yes.
trustee Shear,
No.
trustee Smith.
Yes.
Okay, that motion to amend fails on a 4-3 vote. So we now have the next pending motion was the one that Mary Martha made, which was to approve the notice of public hearing as presented. Do we have any discussion about that? If not, I think we can vote that one and move on.
Trustee Good,
Yes.
trustee Brungart,
No.
trustee Jolly. Yes. Trustee Rhodes,
Yes.
trustee Winslow,
No.
trustee Shear,
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Nope.
Okay, that motion passes on a 4-3 vote. So we will then have so this will get, I guess, Kent, can you give us just a quick, how does the publication of this work?
We'll get it published here in the next week, probably. It has to be published 10 days before the public hearing, so we have quite a bit of time. We have a month. So we'll go ahead and get it published then on September 13th, which is the regular board meeting date. The meeting will start with a public hearing, and I believe we'll have one hearing for both the revenue neutral rate and the amount of taxes. That's the way the form has been designed by the state board Division of Accounts and Reports. So we can have public comment on both the revenue neutral rate, which is the actual or the estimated mill rate, and the notice of public hearing. If you look down on that, we're only exceeding the revenue neutral rate by about 2/100ths of a mil. And that came about when I lowered the valuation on recommendation from the county clerk. So we're basically right at the revenue neutral rate. But we, in order to pass this, we have to have the revenue neutral rate hearing. And that can be combined with the budget hearing, where anybody from the public can come and voice their opinion on the recommendation. And then at the close of the hearing, the board will need to vote on the budget. The motion that you just made set the maximum amount of taxes to be levied, and also the maximum of each fund that shows under the budget expense and transfer 22-23 column. It's at the maximum of all those things.
Thanks, Kent. So we'll have one set of public comment then at the September meeting that will cover both hearings.
Yes, I believe that's the way it'll be. I have an email into Division of Accounts and Reports to verify that we can have one meeting to cover both of those topics. And obviously we have a work session, I believe, on the calendar at the end of this month. If there's any other, if the board wants to delve back into any of this at all, that would be your discretion.
Okay, thank you. Would next move on to entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as it was amended.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as amended.
I would second.
Trustee Good.
Yes.
Trustee Brungart.
Yes.
Trustee Jolly.
Yes.
Trustee Rhodes.
Yes.
Trustee Winslow.
Yes.
Trustee Shear.
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Dr. Kroll, I'll turn it over to you for supplemental information.
Supplemental information starts on 166. There aren't any changes to the performance agreement information. We've already talked a little bit about the monthly statement of revenues and expenditures, and we'll make sure that that's updated for next month's board book. There's a thank you note in the board book from financial aid office, and then you all have individual note cards on your tabletops that are thank you notes, I believe, as well. Board calendar, classes start on the 22nd. New faculty are back next week, faculty are back next week. The brand new faculty that are brand new to us start doing some professional development tomorrow. New Faculty Institute is what we do with them, and so they'll be here tomorrow. And then, of course, the training, the retreat starts on Friday.
I had a quick question on that. What's the Saturday timeframe on that again?
I don't know for sure, but we'll start at 8:30. I should have told you this. Start at 8:30. What I know is we'll start at 8:30 and we'll work through lunch. They were thinking, because I don't know what their flight arrangements are to leave, but they were thinking that we would be done by 3, if not before.
I have a funeral-y thing at 4 to
Yeah.
6.
I'm guessing that, that we'll be done earlier than that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I don't remember when Brad came, if he sent, well, he did. He shipped some training information or some information that you guys were going to use ahead of time. And I think that maybe there was an agenda in that information. I haven't seen anything electronically, but if I get some of that stuff and get an agenda, I'll let you know for sure ahead of time. Okay, I think that's what I have for supplemental information, and then we have another executive session.
We're cruising along.
So here's the thing before we go into executive session. There's food back there. So everybody that's sitting in this room cannot leave until you go get, there's so much stuff back there. It's nuts. Did you see it? It's way more than what we need, but everybody has to fill their plate before you leave, and then everybody has to take a to-go box.
Or else.
2. And then we'll go into executive session. How about that? Should we take a
just
little
have dinner during
break for just a
executive
second?
session?
Yeah,
I didn't bring anything. so
yeah,
it's
well,
gonna be too much.
you can.
Motion so that we can.
Yeah, we need.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make the motion. They're gonna
Okay,
make-
would entertain a motion to go into exec session. The language is on page 172 of the board book.
All right, we're trying to make a motion.
Well, we're going to, but they decided to change the process.
Okay,
Mr. Chair, go ahead.
sorry, go. I move that the board recess into executive session to discuss non-elected personnel pursuant to the open meetings exceptions for matters of non-elected personnel, which if discussed in open meeting might violate the right to privacy, and that the members of the board and President Kim Kroll be included. And
We
up
want
to
Shelley
6
Stoltz to be included.
and Shelley
For the first
Stoltz.
part of it, please.
For the first part of the meeting at least, and for a time period of up to 60 minutes.
And I'll second that motion.
Trustee Good,
Yes.
Trustee Brungart,
Yes.
Trustee Jolly,
Yes.
Trustee Rhodes,
Yes.
Trustee Winslow,
Yes,
Trustee Shear,
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
you'll get so good at this, you won't even have to do that sheet anymore.
You all can enjoy your snacks. and
Snacks.
Yeah, sorry, Forrest.
We'll note the specific time in once we get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
perspective
Have you been
into,
clean shaven?
into public.
Always.
Always?
Tell me when
You've
you're
had
ready
this
for
for
me to
so
motion
long
to
that I'm
adjourn.
used to
My
it.
kids are like, you look hideous. I'm like, no, I don't. I look okay. No, you look terrible, Dad. I'm like, oh.
A lot of gray.
Yeah, I
Dr.
know.
Carl, I missed part of, you were telling me what you had for me to do and we got cut off because I got kicked out of the breakout room and into the back room, so.
I need you to sign, so I'll catch up with you tomorrow and find out if, I can,
Okay.
how you're
Is
feeling.
is there time sensitivity on any of it? Does it have to happen in the next day or two, or is it?
No, I don't think so.
Probably Mary
They're,
could sign if you're
One
not
of them
feeling
is
well.
the contract for the faculty that we'll have you sign and, so, yeah, it's not super.
Mr. Chair, have we officially come out of our executive session yet?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
Timestamped it?
guess we should
I
say
would
we
motion
have.
to.
Yeah.
We went in at 6:13, so we are out at 7:06 right now, so.
Who now I'm gonna motion to adjourn.
We're ready.
I would move to adjourn.
Second.
I already motioned twice.
Oh, well,
Motion,
Well,
motion,
Shelby was
second.
just so keyed.
I would amend the motion to not adjourn until 7:07.
Trustee Good,
Yes.
trustee Brungart,
Yes.
Julie got it. I don't care.
trustee Jolly, trustee Rhodes,
Yes.
trustee Winslow,
Yes.
trustee Shear,
Yes.
trustee Smith.
Yes.
Thank you, Jennifer. Keep us moving. Just jump right in there and get that vote going. Okay, thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of the week. And Dr. Kroll,
Thanks, Forrest.
We'll figure out a time to get my John Hancock on stuff.
Hey, I've got a full driveway, Forrest.
Hey, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your neighbors are happy now too.
Oh, yeah. They're not as happy as I am.
See you, Forrest. Feel better.
Hey, thank you. Take care all.